You're watching Champ Week, presented by Principal. Welcome to the WAC championship game. Tonight, a beginning and an end as Utah Valley takes on California Baptist. Whoever wins the final WAC championship will go to the NCAA tourney for the first time. This matchup inevitable since early in conference play. Utah Valley the 1 seed after beating California Baptist by 1 game in the regular season. Both only needed to win last night to advance to the championship, and that they did. With Tim Welsh, I'm Lowell Galindo. Hello and welcome to Las Vegas. And for everyone watching on the East Coast, welcome to Selection Sunday. Now, we know here in Vegas, we got secrets everywhere. That's not the case in Orleans Arena here tonight because this is matchup number 4 this season between the Lancers and the Wolverines. This one to go to the dance.
Very unique, Lowell, but these teams, they're not unique to each other because of the fact they have been battling all season long, the top 2 teams in this conference. A lot of tweaks here and there, back and forth with the game plan for tonight's game. But as it goes, the last 10 minutes will be the shot makers that take over, and both teams have a lot of those.
Yeah, Dominic Daniels, the WAC Player of the Year. Everybody in this arena knows what CBU is doing offensively. Feed that guy.
Everybody knows. Every coach in this conference knows, but that's an easy thing to say. We know what he's going to do, but stopping him is another thing, and people have not been able to stop him because he is just relentless, so fast with the ball, under control, but plays with power, quickness, and the ability to find a way no matter what the defense does against him. And then for Utah Valley, they've got a 1-2 punch. Jackson Holcomb's kind of a old school point forward. He settles them down when they need to be settled down. And then Trev Linhart is just an all-do-it-all point guard, wing player, defensive player. He's going to have a big game tonight on the offensive end, but he's got to concentrate on Dom Daniels defensively.
Last night, the semifinals, Utah Valley extended its win streak to 7 games, but just barely. Blew a 16-point second-half lead against UT Arlington. Mavericks had a beautiful look at the buzzer. It goes wide, right? And there's a sigh of relief because the Wolverines win that nail-biter. They go back to the championship game for the 2nd time in program history, taking on California Baptist, a team that's here in the title game for the first time ever. This, a potential breakthrough for one of the teams tonight. They will go to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. The 3 previous matchups this season, 2 of them wins by the Wolverines, coming out in the green and white. 1 won by the Lancers, coming out in the navy and gold. Championship on the line in Las Vegas. Jonathan Griman and Isaac Davis doing the honors, and it's in the hands of the WAC Player of the Year, Dominic Daniels, coming off a 41-point performance against Utah Tech.
Utah Valley likes to do a lot in the half court, playing the gaps. They're not going to overextend. They give a lot of help, but they don't overhelp.
Here's Jaden Jackson in some trouble against an elite Utah Valley defense. 5 on the shot clock. Martell Williams running out of time. Daniels has to let it fly. And the air ball shot clock violation. That just speaks to how dominant this Wolverines defense is.
That's what they want to do. They're going to play in the gaps, and you're not going to pressure the ball unless it's on your side of the floor. They get up and they recover well, but they don't close out hard. They close out kind of middling, and they want CBU to take those tough outside shots.
So the starting 5 for Utah Valley. Once again, without Tyler Hendricks, 3rd leading scorer, out for the 5th straight game in concussion protocol. But they have that man, Jackson Holcomb. Tough look and no good.
See, Griman did a good job just building that wall at 6'11" against the 6'7" Holcomb.
No surprise, Daniels runs the show for the Lancers. And he has support in Jaden Jackson coming off a 19-point performance. He's been hot from deep.
Jaden Jackson is a good complementary player to Daniels, and he can knock down those shots. If you over-prepare for Daniels or over-help, that's when Jackson will beat you.
Jumper short by Sherman Weatherspoon. Whistle on the floor. And here's Jaden Jackson getting the scoring started.
Utah Valley definitely has to make sure they move with the pass, and that time That possession, Witherspoon got caught on that screen on that pin down.
Big question for CBU, who will score outside of Daniels in 3 games against the Wolverines this season? Daniels is the only Lancer player to average in double figures in scoring.
Well, they got to look to Martell Williams. He's another guy that can really give them some scoring opportunity and some punch. He's an improved rebounder. He's a tough matchup for Utah Valley.
Called for the foul. That's going to send Jackson Holcomb to the line. This is probably the biggest weakness when it comes to Utah Valley offensively. Not a good free throw shooting team. Under 70% on the season. Case in point, Holcomb misses the first of 2.
Jackson Holcomb's a really good player, though. He plays inside. You saw him post up on that previous possession, but he'll step outside. He'll settle them down when they need to in the half court.
Misses both. In the second matchup between these 2 programs this season, Daniels went off for 47 points in the overtime win. And falling and losing the rock is Brady Hennig. Wolverines, known for their defense. They force a lot of turnovers. They also turn it over a lot offensively. Talking to CBU head coach Rick Boyd, unconventional in the way the Wolverines force those turnovers. Trying to feed it inside to Isaac Davis. Trevor Linhart, first team all WAC. No one home except us. That was almost right to you, Coach Welsh. And there is Todd Phillips, 3rd season as head coach at Utah Valley, trying to take a former JUCO program to the NCAA tournament for the first time. How poetic would that be for the former JUCO coach himself, Todd Phillips? Here's the go-to man. Dominic Daniels can beat you in so many ways. 6-0, Lancers.
That's what Todd Phillips was concerned about. If he starts making perimeter shots, he's almost unguardable.
Linhart to Davis. Ripped away. Martell Williams with the steal. Williams, the spin, trying to work the glass. CBU crashing the glass, and the Wolverines rebound.
Oh, big concern for Utah Valley is CBU on the offensive glass.
Holcomb and 1, and the Wolverines on the board.
Well, Dom Daniels will come down in transition or in the half court. They do a hard hedge, a long hedge against him, but you've got to get a little bit closer with that length on the perimeter so you can contest. And then we talked about Holcomb, the ability to play all over the floor, especially going against those 2 bigs of Cal Baptist. Now, Cal Baptist will play the bigs together, and they'll play Griman and Hennig, and then they'll bring in Endong as well, another 6'10" player. Sometimes they'll play all 3 bigs at one time.
Hennig just picked up foul number 2, so he takes a seat on the bench. And that is 3 free throw attempts, all misses for Jackson Holcomb. Driving dish. Kevin Malcolm into the paint, back out to Daniels. And drawing some contact, but it's a travel before the shot was off by Devin Malcolm.
A good rotation by Utah Valley on that possession. They stayed long and deep on the hard hedge on Daniels, which almost was a double, but Davis did a good job rotating on that for the roll man on the backside to cause the turnover. 3
quick turnovers by the Lancers. They have 60 total over the previous 3 games against the Wolverines this year. Braden Housley. Noah Tates right here in Las Vegas. And again, no one home. Turnover number 3 for the Wolverines. Like we said, they force a lot of turnovers. They do a lot of that themselves.
A little jittery here early, and it can only be recognize this. It's championship night. But you talk about Utah Valley forcing the turnovers. They're good. They're great at position defense. They look for deflections. They're very long on the perimeter. They don't overpressure. They don't overhelp, but they're always in great position.
And how about another turnover? Number 4 against California Baptist. Early nerves with the spot. March Madness on the line. Lancers lead 6-2 from Vegas. Of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Lola Galindo, Tim Welsh, beautiful Las Vegas. California Baptist, Utah Valley matchup number 4 this season. The early edge to the Lancers in the championship game of the WAC for the first time in program history. All eyes on Dominic Daniels. All WAC first team for the second time in this season, the player of the year. Out of Compton, California, he has grown into a leader on this Lancers team, bought into Rick Croy's system. He is a difference maker. 4 early turnovers for CVU, 3 for Utah Valley. Jackson Holcomb, the only connection from the field, but he's also missed 3 free throws. Isaac Davis, long 2, no good, into the hands of Thomas Indar.
Good offense by Utah Valley. They're getting decent shots when they're not turning it over. Not moving as well as they probably need to without the ball.
Open 3, racked home by Devin Malcolm.
Malcolm is a guy that's a defender first and playmaker, but you can see he's got a pretty good touch from the outside. Hasn't made that many on the season.
Lenhart to Davis, no whistle. Indon with back-to-back rebounds, putting it in the hands of Dominic Daniels. Oh, the step back, and that missed everything. But that's why Trevor Lenhart is such a tough matchup for him, because Lenhart is 6'5", maybe 6'6", with such great reach.
You see just a simple moving of the basketball from one side to the other, and Holcomb got caught paying attention a little bit too much in help, looking for Daniels.
What are you seeing early from the Wolverines offense here?
It looks a little stagnant, but I think that's partially because they're just trying to get a feel for the game, and also CVU's defense has been excellent. They're forcing the ball to the side, they're being physical in the paint, and that was a concern earlier from Todd Phillips, their physicality in the lane.
Isaac Davis to the bench. Holcomb working himself into the paint, the lefty baby hook. And Indong is putting on a rebounding show. That's 3 straight possessions ended in the hands of 2-5. Daniels bumped by Isaac Hawkins, and it's going to stay with CVU. Rick Croy, 13th season as a head coach with this Lancers program. Brought them from the D2 to the D1 level. And now on the doorstep of going to the tournament for the first time in program history. He loves this team, says it's a rarity in today's transfer portal NIL era. A team that is connected at the hip. They love each other. Holcomb. The kick, Weatherspoon left too short. And another one-shot possession by the Wolverines.
The one thing on offense, Utah Valley's got to get Lenhart involved.
Indon, the dump down, but it's stripped. Williams fighting to get it back. And it's going to be a jump ball. And possession arrow to Utah Valley.
You asked about their offense. They've got only the 2 points, but Lenhart is doing he's concentrating so much on guarding Daniels, which you need to do, but he's got to make sure his offense is at its top of its game as well, because he is a guy that makes them go.
Holcomb working baseline, nothing easy inside, and that is yet another rebound. 5 straight possessions ended with rebounds from Indong.
Rebounding of Indong, but his size in the middle of the defense really causing problems. Utah Valley unable to finish in traffic.
9-2 lead for California Baptist. The 5th leading scorer in the nation, Dominic Daniels, only has 3 points. Unfortunately, the turnover's mounting. Number 6. CBU elite 2-point defense. Tough shot, but dropped by Isaac Hawkins.
Isaac Hawkins has been playing very well over the last few weeks, and they need a presence down low that has some size that can shoot over the top. That time he took it right to the rim.
Linhart showing the length on display against Daniels. But it caroms straight to Martell Williams, and the second-team WAC selection drops it from deep.
That's what Rick Croy said about Williams, that he's just an ever-improving player, a really good defender, but a guy that's starting to make plays offensively.
Weatherspoon, open look, just barely grazed the nylon, but it looks like a heads-up play there by Isaac Hawkins. It looked initially like he tipped it off CBU, but it will be Lancers basketball.
Just kind of offense by accident on that possession, and Utah Valley again in good help position. They do a great job on weak side of the floor presenting that second and third defender in the lane, and they're going to have to do that with Daniels to keep him off the free throw line, but also be aware that the shooters are still out on the perimeter, and Daniels is an unselfish player. If he feels the pressure, he will drive and dish to the shooters.
Rick Croy says he's got the biggest heart of any player he's ever coached. Elite belief and courage from the 5'10" star. Here's Griman. He's got a great game and a feathery touch for Jonathan Griman from Venezuela.
The bigs of CBU so far tonight have been answering the bell on both ends, with Griman and Endong on the glass.
Linhart got bumped. That's going to be a whistle against California Baptist. Dominant start for Dominic Daniels and company, feeling right at home here in WAC Vegas. We are capping off Champ Week today/tomorrow, depending on where you're watching from, with 2 more championship games on ESPN and the ESPN app. Vandy, Arkansas on the SEC, 1 Eastern time. Wichita State and USF in the American Championship. Vandy trying to win their first tournament title in the SEC since 2012. Rough start for Utah Valley team that's elite from the field. They shoot 51%. That's 9th best in D1. Tonight, just 2 of 10. California Baptist, one of the best 3-point defending teams in college basketball. It's not really Utah Valley's game, though. They're trying to work it inside. The guys like Hawkins, one of the heroes of last night, had a clutch block in the final 10 seconds left as UT Arlington was trying to tie the game.
Hawkins just doing a good job of dribble penetrating, finding that gap right down the middle of the lane.
Martell Williams, a little one-on-one, the cradle, and Witherspoon stuck with him. Offensive board, back out to Daniels, too much. Doesn't get the friendly roll, and it's Wolverines basketball.
Well, Isaac Hawkins, we talked about his improvement as of late, and down in the lane, he's got to take that ball right to the shot blockers of CBU, and he's got that soft touch. Very active, good quick feet as well. They use him as a ball screener, use him as on the short roll, but they also like to throw the lob to him on the backside.
This game means a lot for Isaac Hawkins. His dad, Mark, played for Utah Valley when it was a JUCO before transferring to BYU to wrap up his career. Trying to make dad proud and take his alma mater to the tournament for the first time. Here is Mark's son. And great defense by Endall. He's putting on a show on the post, and that's right to Linhart, trying to get him going. Linhart, the contact on Daniels, no whistle. They are letting him play. Daniels is saying, let's take a look at this. Believes it was off Linhart.
Good job by Linhart. This is what he does. He's got great anticipation as a defender, and see, coming on the backside, Daniels does a good job of just slowing him down without reaching in and fouling, and possibly a turnover.
So we are taking a look at the out-of-bounds call.
Linhart just kind of got caught off balance, and it does look like it went off him.
Matrix style. Daniels getting out of the way. That's impressive if he actually did.
Well, what's more impressive is Daniels, he kind of was out of position, but then repositioned himself defensively, so he was in legal guarding position and did not reach in to commit the foul.
So from the looks you've seen, you think CBU wins that challenge?
I would think so. It looks like there was enough there to say it went off Linhart's chest on the quick hands of Daniels.
Utah Valley fan base is showing up. Trek from Orem, Utah. Hoping this call stands. Now, really is looking at the right arm of Dominique Daniels. Does the basketball ever graze that right arm? Because it clearly before that does go off Trevin Linhart.
Well, there was some contact there, and it looked like Daniels did have the legal guarding position, and that's one of the changes as well, Lowell, in the challenge rule. That back in the day when we coached, sometimes the old veteran refs, instead of calling fouls all night long, they'd pass on the foul call but give the ball back to the offense. So, but it looked like Daniels did slide and was in good position there, and the key again is that he reached in without hitting the arm of Linhart.
Regardless, it was turnover number 7 for CBU before that challenge. And here's a call.
After further review, the ball went off of White. It will be Gold's basketball on the end line.
So Dominique Daniels knew what was up, called for the challenge. His coach got it done, and it's overturned.
Well, sometimes you look to your iPad guy at the top of the bench, but when that happens down at the bottom of the bench, you know, the managers and the guys that aren't dressed helped out with that one.
Lancers have to love this 14-6 lead. And the scoring has been spread evenly. Nobody with more than 3. Wolverines looking for a spark. Lancers, terrific defense. Endong again taking it away.
They're doing a great job of pressuring Linhart, sending that second defender when he comes off that ball screen.
And that's going to be a foul on Hawkins as CBU was setting up Thomas Endong in the post. Foul number 1 on Isaac Hawkins. Matchup number 4 between these two rivals. Top 2 seeds in the regular season, separated by a game in the standings.
Utah Valley just needs a clean stop now so they could possibly get out in transition to break the ice of their offensive woes.
Daniels, the spin. The kick. Williams left it short. And the rebound pulled down by Linhart. Housley, the dump, and the finish by Hayden Welling.
They work really hard on that. They dribble drive into the gap. One thing is they're reading the defense. Once the defense bites on the ball a little bit, they throw over the top for the lob.
One 4 start for the field for Dominic Daniels, WAC Player of the Year. Jackson had an early 3. Can't go glass there. Fight for the loose ball. Ends up in the hands of Linhart. 2-on-1. Here comes Williams. Back to Linhart. The finish. And the Wolverines making a run.
Well, again, Housley with that perfect pass, the delivery over the top. And that's exactly what Utah Valley needed. They need a little bit of transition basketball just to loosen them up, feel a little confident, and get to the rim with that lob play.
CBU has missed its last 5 from the field. Last 6. Linhart at 6'6" frame. Not the best matchup for the 5'10" Daniels.
And he also has good quick feet and long arms to protect and contest.
Housley was looking for another lob. Devin Malcolm took it away. Looking for help. Seven straight misses by the Lancers after the red hot start. Utah Valley getting something going.
Utah Valley, they're one of the best teams in the country is making the extra pass. They love the assist, and Housley is excellent at it as well. And Linhart needs to just loosen up on the offensive, and he's so focused on stopping Daniels, and has done a really good job so far, but might be taking a little bit away from his offensive production.
So Utah Valley in the bonus. And that foul on Martell Williams will send Braden Housley to the line. Housley working his way around the great state of Utah in his college career. 1 season at Southern Utah, before 1 at Utah State. And now his first at UVU.
Utah State played this afternoon right down the street. Beat San Diego State, punched their ticket as well in the Mountain West. And the great state of Utah is going to be represented at least by a couple teams with BYU and Utah State.
Wolverines 0 for 4 from the charity stripe. Who will get the Lancers out of this funk? 7 straight misses. Baseline, and the answer is Brady Hennig.
Another one of the long, big men for CBU, and Hennig got that good footwork, but he plays good, powerful defense. He uses that wide body down at this end to bang around.
Weaver, open look, fouled on the 3-point attempt by Miles Daniel. Tyler Weaver, the redshirt freshman, which is a rarity to be a redshirt freshman in the same program you redshirted for in this transfer portal era.
Great little wraparound down low, and Hennig running a little bit of a closeout that wasn't proper.
Well, we have you covered on Selection Sunday once again. It all starts at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, with Sports Center on ESPN. Each of the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology and breakdowns of each region. And at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with a complete breakdown of each matchup at 9 Eastern. Joe Lenardi shooting his shot. These are his projected 1 and 2 seeds. Any issue with these 1 and 2 seeds?
No, I mean, at this point in the season, you're pretty much locked in. I mean, UConn, Houston, Iowa State, and Michigan State all got beat this weekend, but so does Florida. So you're going to lose in your conference tournament to a power team as well. So I think that it's pretty locked in at this point. Interesting to see Houston. Joe has them going into the South region, which would mean if they do get to the second weekend, the regionals are in Houston.
The wow is because of another missed free throw, an 0 for 5 start from the charity stripe for one of the better shooting teams in America. They shoot 51% from the field, yet from the free throw line, under 70%. 2 out of 3, however, by Tyler Weaver. We got a 4-point game. Grand Canyon has dominated recently this WAC championship. Blue State straight titles for moving on elsewhere, opening the window of opportunity for CBU and UVU. But Daniels makes for the second time. He's got 5 points.
Good job by CBU. That time Utah Valley was in an extended 1-2-2 zone press, and that left Dom Daniels on the weak side unguarded.
Weaver working on Miles Daniels. And again, Daniels fouls the redshirt freshman.
CBU did a good job of just probing this defense, and if Utah Valley is going to play this 1-2-2 extended zone, I mean, they're not trying to trap out of it, but they need to have someone attached to Dom Daniels on the opposite side of the floor.
Red hot from the line. That's 3 straight makes. 7 teams in the WAC this season, which set up these tournament matchups to be the 4th meeting between all the teams in this WAC tournament. Everybody played each other 3 times in the regular season. Utah Valley took 2 of the 3 against the Lancers. The one win, an overtime win, which Daniels went off the program record 47 points. Hennig trying to back down Holcomb. Holcomb standing his ground, but Hennig, his second bucket of the night.
Again, the size of Hennig and the bigs of CBU bothering Utah Valley, not only defensively, but they're now starting to go down to the low box and shoot over the top.
Weatherspoon kicks to Holcomb, passed up to 3, stripped, but Devin Malcolm called for the foul. We talked to Rick Roy before the start of this game. He pointed out how good Utah Valley is sharing the rock. They're 5th nationally in assists per game. He said a big key for the Lancers would be forcing Utah Valley to play one-on-one. Are they doing that?
They pretty much are. They're doing a good job of keeping the ball on one side of the floor, and a little bit of that is because of CBU, but some of that also is Utah Valley. They're just not moving without the basketball. They're very good at spacing the floor. They have misdirection action on the weak side of the floor. They've got to get into their second action, though. Right now, they're kind of stalled on one side of the floor.
Holcomb hits both free throws like he did last night with 19 seconds left to break up a tie game against UT Arlington in the WAC semifinals. 4-point lead for CBU. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Wide open 3, and that rattles out from Devin Malcolm. CBU does have the edge from outside. They're 4 of 11. Utah Valley has not connected. Only attempted 2 3-point shots. Did draw 3 free throws. And a foul attempt. Good hands. Malcolm coming the other way. Malcolm cannot finish. And it's going to stay with CBU.
Got a loose pass on the perimeter and very un-Utah Valley-like. And you can see the pressure that CBU is putting on them. They're denying that reversal. They're trying to keep the ball on one side of the floor.
Daniels gets it back off the inbound. Daniels got bumped by Davis. And Davis is going to be called for the foul.
That's what makes Daniels so tough. He's got that hesitation dribble. He's got the power. We know he's got the speed, but the strong lefty is also equally as good making things happen and making plays going to his right.
First free throws for CBU for Dominic Daniels, which at the 5:26 mark would be a win for Utah Valley. One of their keys, and they expressed to us, can't foul and send Daniels to the line like they did in game number 2 of this matchup when he went 18 of 21 from the charity stripe.
And the one thing about Daniels is that he can be slowed for certain periods of time, but you must keep the pressure on him because he'll get going.
Oh, get all of it, Isaac Davis.
Again, that's a set play called from the bench by Todd Phillips, and they love to throw that backside lob.
Daniels working the hezzy. Can't get the fade away. Strong rebound. Tyler Weaver. Key minutes for the freshman. A little more pep in the step of these Wolverines now. Feeling like they're back in the fight. CBU wanted to travel. Beautiful shot. How did Jackson Holcomb get the finish?
That's what Jackson Holcomb does. He can beat you from the outside off the bounce, but his power game around the rim is special. He's got terrific footwork.
One of 30 finalists for the mid-major player of the year. The emotional leader of the Wolverines. Makes this a 2-point game. Daniels gives it up. Williams lost it. 8th turnover for CBU.
Excellent defense by Utah Valley. They switched on that ball screen at the top. Tyler Weaver doing a good job as well on Daniels.
Off the fingertips of Weaver.
A little backside lob. That's Utah Valley at its best. And don't get caught ball watching because you'll be rim watching. Over the top to Davis with authority.
California Baptist, the preseason favorite in the WAC, ended up with the 2 seed in the WAC tournament after they finished 1 game back of Utah Valley in the regular season standings. 2-point lead over the Wolverines. Todd Phillips once again has himself a squad. 3rd WAC outright title for this program that's on the cusp of going to the tournament for the first time ever. They enter this championship game on a 7-game winning streak. Even more dominant going deeper into the season. 20 wins in their last 23 games to get here. Jackson Holcomb, Trevin Linhart, first-team All-WAC performers and on the all-defensive team.
Utah Valley settled in on the offensive end after some shaky moments early, but defense has been rock solid all night long.
Williams attempts the 3, leaves it short. Neither of these teams consistently reliant on the 3-point shot. Both elite at 2-point buckets. Wolverines trying to tie this thing. And Holcomb does.
Jackson Holcomb, you know that's his game. He's not going to step outside and shoot the ball. If he is outside, he's going to take you off the bounce, but he's got a lot of different excellent low post moves.
Here's Jordan Mueller now to run some point. Freshman from Germany. Finds Daniels, gets him an open look, missed everything. And this is starting to look more like Dominic Daniels had struggled from the field in game number 3 against Utah Valley than the one that went off in game number 2.
Well, Trev Linhart actually knows his game as good as anybody, because obviously the 4th game that he's had to defend him. He did a good job on the weak side. He was away from him, but the closeout was not a hard one. It was kind of a soft one, preventing him from getting into the lane.
Holcomb camped in the paint. And a whistle after the shot. Coming up on the halftime report presented by Sargento, Zubin, Kevin, Tom in studio. Looking ahead to Selection Sunday, which is actually already starting where they are back in Bristol, Connecticut. 2:15 until we get you to that halftime report. Tied up at 22. The top 2 teams in the WAC battling again. And a foul on the shot from Martell Williams.
Both teams are getting caught behind down in the paint and on the low box. And instead of just building that wall straight up, they're leaning into the shooter. Unnecessary fouls down low. That time Holcomb had good position on Williams. He's got some size on him as well, but he just leaned into his arms as Williams went into a shot.
And only the 3rd free throw attempt for CBU tonight, their first miss. Utah Valley has gotten to the free throw line 11 times. They have mightily struggled at 6 of 11. Williams with the split. He gives the Lancers the lead back, coming up on 2 minutes. Slow start for Linhart. 2 points. He's setting up teammates with 3 assists. Tate's inside to the dunk machine, Isaac Davis. Davis, tough finish, one at the end, one, but the big fella is going to work.
Going to work, and Endong just did his work a lot. Very late, he let Williams catch the ball right in that sweet spot down low, and Davis just put on a really good post move with a lot of power as well.
An early 10-point deficit erased. Daniels brings CBU back. He's got the mojo.
Well, Don Daniels, obviously, we know what a scorer he is and what a good job Linhart's done on him so far. But Daniels, in his own right, has played excellent defense so far in this first half.
Linhart, the drive, the kick, and it's blocked. What a play by the freshman from Germany. Jordan Mueller, tremendous upside for this young man.
Well, Isaac Davis, he wants to post up. He's big, he carves out some space in here. Just makes a simple move, a drop step with authority, and then a little miscommunication on that roll and replace, and no one popped up from the weak side as Daniels got caught on the weak side and nobody saw him flashing up to the ball.
And with that bucket, Daniels sets the CBU single season record for points. Lancers called for the foul as Braden Housley hits the deck. Mueller picked up foul number 1. Utah Valley in the double bonus.
I like that, what Rick Croy has done. He brought Jordan Mueller into the game and moved Don Daniels away off the ball just to give him free him up a little bit. They'll set some screens. Instead of the ball screens at the top, they'll do a lot of screening on the weak side for him. And on that last possession, we got the 3. They set a ball screen, ran away from him, and then threw back on the roll and replace.
Tried this a lot in matchup number 3 between the two. And that is a game where Daniels had all sorts of struggles. Finished with 12 points on 3 of 16 shooting. He's got 10 tonight on 3 of 9. Williams with the one-on-one. Inside feed, Grimes. Endong cannot handle it. Davis ripping it away.
Isaac Davis is just playing with a lot of authority on both ends right now, just cleaning up all the misses.
Tied up at 26. Utah Valley wants to talk about it.
Had
out of Riverside, California. 26 points on the board for them. Utah Valley out of Orem, Utah. That's a short drive from Provo. Essentially neighbors with BYU. Also 26 on the board. Both these teams trying to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. And this, the final WAC championship for the conference rebrands to the UAC. In the hands of Trevin Linhart. Back-to-back seasons setting school records for assists. He's got 3 tonight. Will trigger with 5 on the clock. And the rebound by Endall. Here comes Daniels with 5 seconds to work with. Daniels lets it fly. Too strong, tip no good. And we will go to the break, tied up at 26 with March Madness on the line.
Well, both these teams can score, but tonight it's been a defensive battle. And both teams understanding each other quite well, though. Match number 4.
No one's got the edge for the first 20 minutes. Sargento halftime report on its way. You're watching Champ Week, presented by Principal. Welcome back to the WAC Men's Championship game, tied up at 26 here in Las Vegas, California Baptist and Utah Valley. With Tim Welsh, I'm Lowell Galindo. Welcome back to Orleans Arena. Matchup number 4 between these two rivals. In many ways, much of the same. Dominique Daniels has 10 points for the Lancers. Nobody else on his team has more than 4, yet they had a 10-point lead. Wolverines have come back. How'd they do it?
Well, Utah Valley's made Dom Daniels work for his points. Only 2 free throw attempts, and he's 3 for 10 from the floor. But they came back because they went inside. They played Utah Valley basketball. The extra pass, the lobs at the rim, going inside, attacking the paint, spacing the floor, reversing the ball, good ball movement, unselfish basketball play, and a little power move to boot down low. And they loosened up. They seemed a little tight at the beginning of the game, but give CBU credit on the defensive end of the floor. They really had a good game plan themselves. They were very physical with Utah Valley.
They got to feel confident about this being tied up at 26, considering they're 0 for 3 from three-point range, and they have missed 5 free throws, including the first 5 of the game.
Well, also they have more turnovers than assists, and that's very un-Utah Valley-like. We talked about that they're one of the top teams in the country in assists, and that means they really share it, but they also don't turn it over. But CBU has played a real good, tough defensive game so far.
CBU, meanwhile, 69 turnovers in 4 games now against the Wolverines this season. 9 so far. That's the first half of action. Jackson had an early bucket, went cold after that. And it's going to be Wolverines basketball after the Jaden Jackson miss. He had 3 points, 1 of 4 from the field in the first half. Trevin Linhart has been waiting to get it going. Also limited 2 points, but did have 3 rebounds and 3 assists for one of the most versatile players in college basketball. Isaac Davis had a couple of buckets in the first half. Lost his grip there. Here's Holcomb. It was a slow start, but boy, he has picked it up and will go to the line. Jackson Holcomb, the emotional leader of this Utah Valley squad.
Jackson Holcomb, he's just so creative. There's nothing there, but he finds a way to squeeze through the door against that size. And Brian's 6'11" and found a way to get in there. And Hennick's 7 feet, but at 6'7", he found a way to squeeze through. You know, I wanted to tell you, watching these coaches, we were at the games last night, and I really like not only what they do scheme-wise, schematically, and how their teams are together, but I like their demeanor on the sidelines a lot. I mean, these games have so much pressure on them, but they do not waste any time talking with the officials. I really like that from these 2 guys.
Locked in, eyes on the prize. Neither of these teams have ever made it to the big dance. This is a year to do it. The top 2 teams in the WAC in the regular season meeting here in the final WAC championship game. Beautiful touch by Jonathan Griman, his second bucket of the night.
Davis has got to get a little closer to Griman because he's made that shot a couple times tonight. He's got that soft touch, and that time Davis wasn't close enough for a closeout.
Davis, the wraparound pass, and Weatherspoon missed everything. He's 0 for 4 from the field. He had made 3 previous starts coming into this game with double-digit scoring in those 3 games. The only time he's been in double digits all season long because Utah Valley playing without Tyler Hendricks, missing his 5th straight game with a concussion protocol. 3rd leading scorer for the Wolverines. He also misses veteran leadership. That ball is tipped by Linhart. And 3 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to reset that now. 20 as Daniels triggers the inbound.
Linhart again, those long arms, just really good feel, not only offensively but defensively, always being in good position and using that length.
Hennig with the one-on-one against Davis. The array of moves and one. Brady Hennig.
Hennig just took his time down low, and I thought maybe that Utah Valley might send that second defender at him when he puts his head down and goes in that 3rd and 4th bounce. And you know what he's trying to do. He's not looking to pass back out, and Utah Valley might think about digging down on the post.
Sometimes games like this, you need players to do a little bit more than they've done in the regular season. Hennig now with 7 points, eclipsing his season average of 5 points per game. Just hit the free throw. Finally, Sherman Weatherspoon connects from outside. The first 3-ball make for the Wolverines, and Weatherspoon's first make for the field tonight.
Weatherspoon hit a couple big ones last night, but that's the first time tonight he's been loose on the perimeter.
Daniels cannot get the response. Weatherspoon traveled, and it's a late whistle, but CBU is calling that from the bench.
Weatherspoon just finding a way on that roll and replace on that weak side. And again, Linhart did a good job of just reading the defense and understanding where his teammates were on the weak side.
He's a real wild card in this matchup that doesn't have many, because it is matchup number 4. They know each other so well. Weatherspoon wasn't playing all that much. It was Hendrick's show. He only has 3 total points in 3 games coming into this against CBU.
It's a good call by Greg Nixon, that double dribble on the weak side. I think the officials on the ball side had turned their head and were running up the court, and it happened so quickly, but that was the correct call from Nixon from the other side of the floor.
How often in your coaching days did you tell the refs, great job?
Oh, all the time.
Daniels, one-on-one ball. This is what CBU likes. Griman, great length. Could not connect.
Better job by Davis on that one. He was a little tighter on Griman on the jump hook.
Utah Valley trailed by 10 points in the early goings of this game. Sluggish start. And the 9th best shooting team in college basketball. Holcomb, too strong. The cleanup. A big Isaac Davis. He's got 6.
Old school right there. Holcomb just a ball and head fake just to get the ball up on the rim and create an opportunity at the backside for the offensive rebound.
Griman knew what he wanted to do. Put it straight in the cylinder.
Well, Griman, you talked about an X factor, someone else stepping up. Scoring-wise tonight, Griman only averages 6 points a game, but he has been a go-to guy in the middle of the lane for CBU.
Davis rolling to the bucket and is going to go to the line for 2 free throws.
You got to be careful on Jackson Holcomb. He's only made five threes on the year, and then little ball fake. He draws Griman, which allows Davis on the backside. No one rotates down to block him out.
Griman just picked up foul number 4. That is a key foul for the CBU front court, especially to the point that you made coming into this half, how dominant Utah Valley has been in the post. Davis, it rattles out. Another missed free throw. do have depth. And Thomas Ndong, number 25, has been solid to start. 8 rebounds for the Lancers. As CBU did a fantastic job in the early goings of this game, limiting the Wolverines to one-shot possessions. Davis the split at the line, and we're tied up at 33.
1-2-2 pressure. Not a soft pressure, but they will trap if you dribble into a tough area.
Heads-up play by Holcomb. He deflected it off Devin Malcolm and saves the possession for the Wolverines.
Jaden Jackson took it into that death trap area right over half court, and Utah Valley's not trying to get a steal unless you dribble into a tough spot. Then they will whack you with the trap, and that time good rotation and anticipation.
Holcomb to spin. Davis offensive glass. And the rebound, Martell Williams. And we have an injured Lancer holding his right ankle. And that is Thomas Ndong. That is down for CBU. Junior forward from Montreal. And obvious pain. Tied up at 33 in this WAC championship game. WAC championship game, second half, spot in the NCAA tournament on the line. Some positive news after the injury scare from Thomas Ndong. He's back in the team huddle. He was favoring his right ankle or foot and is able to limp back to the huddle. And he is back on the court right now, tucking in that jersey and getting ready to go back to work. Huge because he's the leading rebounder for the Lancers, 4th leader in the WAC. And on top of this, Jonathan Griman, second on the team in rebounding, on the bench with 4 fouls. Meanwhile, the Wolverines have the edge in paint production, +6 inside the paint. Cole Galindo, Tim Welsh with you from Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. Williams, some bully ball inside, and Martell Williams connects. He's got 6 points.
Excellent pass by Ndong down from that low box. He got pushed off that sweet spot area and looked for cutters, and Williams slid right down the lane.
Linhart turned it over behind the back from Malcolm. Malcolm stepped out of bounds. And that is turnover number 11 for the Lancers.
There's Ndong. Look, does a good job. He feels the double and just does a good job of finding the cutting Williams. Williams did a good job of reading. He saw that Holcomb had turned his head.
Williams really needed that. Was 1 of 6 from the field before connecting. And one Wolverines. Braden Housley to the line for the 3-point play.
Braden Housley is another one of those, sort of a sneaky player for Utah Valley that can sliver in there. He's 6'4", but again, plays much bigger with those long arms and the ability to read the defense.
Hawk with the offensive rebound. 3, no good. And CBU secures it after another missed free throw. It's now 9 missed free throws tonight for the Wolverines. It's their biggest blemish offensively coming into this game. The air ball from the Lancers, and chance for the Wolverines to take the lead. Held it momentarily by 1 in the first half. And they've got it back. Jackson Holcomb.
Cerebral basketball at its best. Just a good job of Linhart. Had his head up the whole time and knew exactly where his partner in crime was going, right to the rim.
Daniels the response, the WAC player of the year. No good from inside. The run out. Housley tries to finish. And we've got a whistle after the miss as Linhart corralled it. That's going to be a foul on the Lancers.
Watch Linhart. He's got his head up the whole time, and that little pick and roll, and on the back cut on the backside. Holcomb saw his man slide and help just a little bit too much or turn his head on the roll man. And you must stay attached to Jackson Holcomb because he is one of the best at reading defenses and cutting to the rim.
Good hands by CBU. And that one was set up by Devin Malcolm. Daniels hard charging the other way. Lost it as Jackson Holcomb had the tremendous recovery.
He did, but Rick Croy wanted a foul. And right now, Dom Daniels is not doing his thing as far as throwing his body at the rim and getting to the line.
Just 2 free throw attempts. Daniels has made them both. 3 of 13 from the field, 10 points for the 5th leading scorer in college basketball. And he plays pretty much every minute for the Lancers. Leads the WAC in minutes per game. 4 on the shot clock. You see that reach from Linhart. Daniels trying to get away from him in a shot clock violation.
Yeah, Daniels has to move the ball. He's got to read the defense here. Utah Valley is staying with a long hedge at the top, which means they're going to take the screener's defender and stay with Daniels. And they're just trying to corral him. They're not trapping him. They're not overextending, but they're taking away his angles to the rim. So he's got to give the ball up and then try to get it back.
Kick out, Housley. Houses it.
Utah Valley starting to loosen up and run their stuff on the offensive end and space the floor, drive into the lane, kick out to open shooters.
Daniels looks gassed. He gets bumped. And it's been a one-man show to this point for the Lancers. Wolverines getting everybody involved. Here's Housley.
Housley is a guy that can knock down shots, very capable, but not a guy they look to. But if he's open, he's confident.
Nearly thrown away. Hennig keeps it alive. Plenty of time for Malcolm. And Malcolm traveled. Turnovers at some point are going to be insurmountable. It's now 13 for Rick Croy's club.
Utah Valley right now doing an excellent job defensively. Playing the passing lanes in good help position.
Linhart has 2 points, but he has taken over this game. Right there, he sets up Hayden Welling. CBU wants a timeout because the Wolverines are off and now running.
Finding the open man. Impact winning. That's what Trev Linhart does for Utah Valley.
Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Get those brackets ready to go. Major Joe Lenardi ramifications coming up as we wrap up Champ Week. Tomorrow/today in the SEC, Vandy and Arkansas. If you haven't watched Day Cuff, must-see TV for the Hogs. Wichita State and South Florida and the American at 3:15 Eastern. Yes, today. We are saying today. It is Selection Sunday. Starting on the East Coast, working our way west. Utah Valley in the second half, outscoring California Baptist. And edging them 42-35 on the scoreboard with 12 minutes left to go. Daniels rejected. Isaac Hawkins coming off a 4-block performance. Adds another one. Welling inside. And the rebound pulled down by Jaden Jackson. Daniels has to keep chugging. And there is a lid on the bucket except for Brady Hennig, who continues to keep the Lancers in this game.
Well, that's what Daniels has to do, though. He's got to push the pace. Even if he misses in transition, it will open up other opportunities. He's making good decisions, but Utah Valley's defensive scheme is very good against Dom Daniels tonight.
Daniels 3 of 15 from the field. It is go time, now or never, for Dominic Daniels and CBU.
Well, everybody wants to talk about offense, but Trev Linhart can impact the game, not by scoring, but by running the team defensively. He's been excellent. He has his head up. He makes the extra pass all the time, and he and Jackson Holcomb seemingly are tied at the hip, and then will always find the open man on the weak side because he's got his head up, and he has one thing in mind. If you overhelp at all, he is a pinpoint passer in traffic, and it doesn't even tell the complete story because the job he's doing on Dom Daniels has been beyond special. And Rick Croy said it about him. He plays ball screens early, has a great anticipation, and is laying off with those long arms, but he's still in the neighborhood to complete the play defensively and not allow Daniels that good opportunity in the lane.
Best two-point performance I've seen this season. And nearly had his 5th rattled out. Where does California Baptist get the offense? How about from Germany? Jordan Mueller connects from outside. You talk about being desperate for a shot like that. The Lancers were. Mueller delivers, 2-point game.
Good job, though, by Rick Croy. He needs to get Daniels off the ball. That's why Mueller's in the game.
Hesitation. Owsley back to Tates. Welling lost it. Heads up play to try to get it back, but it's tied up and will be a held ball. And it's going to stay with the Wolverines on the arrow.
Yeah, Jordan Mueller is a really good passer. He is in the game. He can create a little space off the bounce. He'll play the point guard spot, but you've got to be aware of where he is as a shooter as well.
5 on the shot clock for Utah Valley. Linhart to trigger the inbound.
Much dribbling on that last possession by Welling. He got pushed off the block. He's got to repost up, try to pass it back out, find an offensive player, and then look for his points closer to the rim.
Wolverines team that lost their top 4 scorers from a season ago in the portal, including Hayden Welling's brother, the WAC Defensive Player of the Year. Davis, long arms, no good. Shot clock violation. Lancers basketball, huge defensive stop for CBU.
CBU's done a good job for the most part all night long being physical defensively. Now let's see how they look to free up Dom Daniels. If he'll give it up and then try to get it back, let Mueller come around on the point.
They're taking Daniels off the ball here.
That's a good move. They need to free him up off the ball.
Got to get him away from Linhart. They do there! And a tough take to the line as Isaac Davis fouls Dominic Daniels.
Well, the ball screen action for Dom Daniels has not been very successful tonight because of the fact that Utah Valley really stays with him with a long hedge. So the best move Rick Croy can do is move him off the ball. They've got Mueller. They can play at the point, and also Martell Williams, and let Daniels roam away from the ball, maybe get him lost on the weak side of the defense, then set a pin down screen for him without the basketball, and that time they did a good job of attacking on ball reversal.
They wanted to keep Dom Daniels off the free throw line. They have done that. He is 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. He's 18 of 21. And the second matchup between these two teams, and they are going to take a review, and we're going to get a quick word on what the review is. What do we got, Coach?
They're looking at a flagrant on that drive by Daniels. There was some activity down on the baseline that may have been a little bit too much.
Taking a quick break here inside Orleans Arena, home of the WAC championship game. Moments ago, Isaac Davis was called for the foul against Dominic Daniels. They are taking a review to see if this warrants an upgrade to a flagrant. And you saw there was contact to the face of Daniels from Davis. You see enough there, Coach?
No, I don't. I think Davis is just trying to make a play. He's trying to defend at the rim. There was contact in midair, but Daniels, in fact, went into Davis. So I think they should take that into play and think about that it's basically a good hard-nosed basketball play of two guys just that are real athletic, and it looked worse than it is, in my opinion.
And that's the way that Dominic Daniels plays the game. Not the biggest dude, 5'10". The belief and courage, the calling cards, in the words of his head coach, Rick Roy. He will take on anybody. And more often than not, he wins those battles regardless of the size that he gives up. So if it stands as called on the court, it will be 2 free throws for Daniels.
After review, this still retains as a common foul. 2 free throws.
So it will stay as called, common foul against Isaac Davis. Daniels to the line. Free throw attempt number 3 coming up.
Excellent crew here tonight. Greg Nixon, Tyler Crump, and Tommy Johnson. And this game has not been easy to officiate. You know, the offense has been a little herky-jerky on both ends because of the physicality of the defense. But they've called it when they needed to, but they've let the guys play as well.
Daniels hits the first. 1-point lead for Utah Valley. Holcomb checks back in with Weatherspoon. Linhart remains in the game. He has been the Daniels stopper. And WAC Player of the Year hits them both, and we're tied up at 42. Final WAC championship game. Twin Conference forms an alliance with the Atlantic Sun. Rebrands as United Athletic Conference, and these two teams go to the Big West. Davis banging on Hennig. Second look works. Davis also wanted the and one. He'll take getting the Wolverines the lead back instead.
Davis does a great job of just creating space after the catch with the lowering of the shoulder. And he's got to hold his ground.
Daniels take over time. Missed it. Rebound by Linhart. And stepping out of bounds was Tyler Weaver.
This is where Isaac Davis does his work. Just down in that low box, he creates that space, but just kind of powers his way through it. And Hennig's just got to hold his body right up against Davis. But Davis is very powerful down there when he does catch it.
Dominic Daniels on February 19th. In the third matchup between these two teams. Went 3 of 16 from the field. Trevor Linhart, go back and watch that game. He's drawn most of those defensive assignments against number 1. Tonight, Daniels again, 3 of 16 from the field. Linhart with the D. 3 of 17 now, because Linhart with the D. A lockdown defensive performance by Trevor Linhart. Daniels got away, could not capitalize. Offensive board, Jaden Jackson. Martell Williams, scoop pass. Beautiful roll by Jonathan Griman.
Again, Isaac Davis got caught ball watching. He must understand where Griman is. He's got to be closer to him so he can get up in him or deny that pass back to the foul line.
Linhart gets it back, turns the corner, and the finish for Trevor Linhart. Only his second bucket of the night.
Doesn't need to score, but will on opportunity. Will take advantage if you make a mistake defensively.
Daniels, Griman. He's in the double digits with 10. 4 over season average.
Good job by Dom Daniels, understanding that the whole house is looking at him and delivering.
Linhart, teardrop, back-to-back buckets for the first team all-WAC performer.
Both teams starting to get a little loose on the offensive end.
Daniels has been the distributor in these last couple of possessions. But if CBU is going to win this, they need number 1 to score. And he got fouled. It's going to be on Weatherspoon.
Well, First half was a little sluggish on the offensive end, but Jonathan Greiman can make plays in the lane, and then Trev Linhart, not only a defender and a passer, he can score as well.
State Raiders are going to the NCAA tournament.
Idaho is your 2026 Big Sky champion.
The Saints are ready to march back into the madness.
Trip here as a part of the West Coast Conference. WCC Tournament Champion.
WCC Tournament Championship, their 11th in program history.
It's that time of year that everybody gets to show off their dance moves, cut down the nets, celebrate a trip to the NCAA tournament if you win that AQ by winning your conference tournament. High Point, Gonzaga, Idaho, Howard, Duke, programs that have won their conference tournaments, men's and women's basketball. Earlier today on this court here in Orleans Arena was CBU, their women's program getting the dub over Abilene Christian and winning the WAC tournament for the second time in 3 years. So congratulations to the Lancers. And the men making a sweep. Open look, Jayden Jackson. And that would have given the Lancers the lead. Rolls off, 7.5 minutes left. One of these teams going to the tournament for the first time ever. Linhart, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. And excellent defense all night long.
Daniels has played excellent defense as well on Linhart.
Fight for the loose ball, and that is a careless turnover. Number 13 for the Wolverines, and now matches the total from CBU.
Seems like Dom Daniels has got over the hump a little bit figuring out this defense. Not that he's going to get loose and just scoring a flurry, but his body language is much better. I don't think he's as frustrated as he was earlier in the game.
Martell Williams, tough take over Holcomb, and we're tied up at 48, under 7 to go.
I think Rick Croy understands that they need to go small to win this game on the offensive end, and then their defense has been better as well, just putting a little bit of pressure on the perimeter.
Lancers trying to take the lead back. Mueller sets up Dominic Daniels. Jackson to the free throw line. Mueller got it back. 8 seconds left for Daniels. Daniels lost it through the wickets, and it's going to stay with CBU. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Flirting with disaster on this possession is Rick Croy's team. Greiman gets it back to Daniels. He got bumped, got to go. That should have been a travel, but instead it's a wedgie. And Utah Valley basketball. Suffocating half-court defense all night long by Utah Valley. And this is Lancers basketball.
He hit the rim before the shot clock expired, so the ball wedged in the rim, which causes a jump ball, and the arrow was in CBU's favor.
So the clutch wedgie.
A smart play, though, by Daniels just to get the ball somehow, some way up on the rim.
Daniels on Davis, rattles it home before the buzzer, and the Lancers take the lead by 2.
Daniels is much better tonight without a ball screen. When he's just in one-on-one coverage straight, he can use that speed to create opportunities for himself.
Now it's getting good. Davis, space on Greiman, and one for Isaac Davis.
Dom Daniels, they moved him off the ball a little bit, and that time on the ghost screen, he just is so good at changing directions and then finding a way to get up in the middle of the lane on balance. And then Davis, they're not sending the double at him because he's a willing and very capable passer down from that low box area.
And Jonathan Greiman has just fouled out with 5:37 left to play. Greiman has had a solid night when he's been on the court. 10 points, 5 of 6 from the field, 4 rebounds. And that's where the Lancers will miss him the most. 6 rebounds per game, second best on the team. And Davis to the line. Opportunity for the three-point play.
Isaac Davis all night long, Lowell. He has done a very good job of posting, reposting, and doing his work early to get that good sweet spot right at the rim. And then he's so powerful, but still on bounce. There's not a lot of wasted motion when he goes to score from that box area.
Utah Valley with the lead by 1. Daniels just 4 of 20 from the field. His most misses in a game this season. All his poor shooting performances have come against this Wolverines defense. Bueller thought about it. Jackson got the step. Linhart, and he is fouled. Davis and Linhart were both there.
That's a good call by Tyler Crumpton. You watch Davis. He has good position, but at the last second doesn't present that good verticality. Goes into the shooter. Jackson did a good job of ball faking right on the baseline.
4 for Isaac Davis. He just signaled to Todd Phillips, let me play. Let me roll. I got this. Jaden Jackson hits the first. Ties it up at 51.
You know the old philosophy, though. Players play, coaches coach.
Jackson hits both free throws.
They lose him, then they do lose their low post presence on the offensive end.
Wolverines have made 4 straight from the field. Davis on Hennig. Davis loves this matchup. Just forces it up. Hennig wins that bout. Under 5 to play. Daniels on Linhart. Lining it up is Martell Williams. No good. Linhart, rebound number 9.
Excellent defense cutting off that penetration. Daniels tried to get to the rim.
Holcomb, it's been a quiet second half. Lefty finish is good. Wolverines take the lead back by 1.
That's where Griman not being in the game hurts CBU, because he can rotate over and contest in the lane. That time Holcomb had that size advantage.
This is a matchup Rick Croy really wanted to exploit Martell Williams, but it's been a tough go from the field. Daniels, speaking of tough, his 17th miss of the night, 4-21. Yet Cal Baptist still right there.
Got in there, but he was going to the right hand, and he felt the pressure in the lane.
Linhart, Holcomb, Weatherspoon rips it.
The drive and drift, and Jackson Holcomb knew where his teammate was on that backside baseline.
Daniels, circus shot, kept alive by Hennig. Lined up, Jackson left it short. Cool, collected. Trevin Linhart is, as he sets up the Wolverines offense. Linhart looking for help. Holcomb, that's the big 2! Trying to take Utah Valley to the promised land. Jackson Holcomb and 1.
Well, Utah Valley starting to run their stuff. Some isolations on the backside, and then the drive and drift to Witherspoon. The understanding of their offensive concepts, the extra pass, the assist team playing at its best offensively.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Got a star-studded NBA Sunday Showcase matchup on ABC and the ESPN app. Timberwolves and OKC. Thunder, the team to beat, and the NBA right now. Coverage tipping with NBA Countdown, 12 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Mo Galindo, Tim Walsh with you in Las Vegas. Utah Valley has had so much heartbreak recently in this WAC tournament. Jackson Holcomb, Trevin Linhart, the ultimate leaders for this team, helping the Wolverines close in on what would be a first trip to the dance in program history.
Well, Todd Phillips has changed up his offense a little bit. He's got the low post presence in Davis on one side of the floor, and then on the back side, on ball side, he's got Linhart and Holcomb playing a little two-man game. And then defensively, they moved Daniels off the ball. They're not setting ball screens for him. He's trying to attack, but they're pushing him to his right hand and then giving some help and making him shoot real difficult shots in the lane.
8-set run for the Wolverines. They have shut down Daniels. He's got 14 points, but has had to work for all of it. 4 of 22 from the field. You wouldn't know it, though. He's a collected young man that has carried this team the past 3 seasons, trying to make it to the finish line for CBU and also get the Lancers to the tournament for the first time.
Well, you never come out of the game. You guard an excellent player in Trev Linhart, and you have the ball in your hands most of the time with a lot of pressure to go get 25 points every night. And for the most part tonight, he's kept his composure, he's kept his attitude up, but the defense has been real good against him, just forcing him into shots that he's not really totally comfortable with, because that length that they have has bothered him. He's only 5'10", and the 6'5", 6'6" guards of Utah Valley have done a good job not overextending, but using their length to present real trouble for him when he does get in the lane.
Brady Hennig with an out-of-body experience tonight. He's got 11 points. He's the second leading scorer for CBU behind Daniels, and has made all 3 of his free throw attempts tonight. Not bad for a guy shooting 55% from the stripe coming into this game.
Utah Valley playing that two-man game on ball side with Holcomb and Linhart.
Holcomb just muscling by Daniels and draws the foul. Jackson Holcomb, 6'7", 215, and does everything at an elite level. #1 in the WAC in steals, 2nd in rebounds per game, 4th in blocks.
Well, Todd Phillips is going to his moneymakers down the stretch. He's going to go back to the well to this play until CBU proves they can stop it, and that's Linhart and Holcomb playing 2-on-2 basketball on the right-hand side of the floor. And once Holcomb does catch it, they've got to try to force him back into the middle. He gets that angle towards the baseline to his right hand, and he's almost unstoppable.
CBU wanted to force Utah Valley to play one-on-one. Instead, it's been Linhart and Holcomb engineering the offense together. Lancers chasing 6. Jackson the fadeaway, too strong. Hennig skies for the rebound. Davis wrestles it back. And it's going to be off the Wolverines with the clock right at 2. California Baptist had a 10-point edge in the first half. It was a slow start for Utah Valley. Lancers now trailing by 6. Daniels frees himself and rips it from 3.
That's so difficult to defend. They did a great job forcing him to his right hand, but you got the defense leaning back just a little bit in that sidestep. And the fadeaway at the top.
Davis, 12 points. 2nd leading scorer for Utah Valley. Pagan with Hennig. The moves. Hennig with the rebound.
Good job by Hennig. That time he didn't get caved in on that power move across the middle of the floor. He just built the wall.
Daniels, swagger, step back, tie, game!
And we talked about what a great player he is. With a frustrating night, though, great players always keep their head up, and that's what Dom Daniels has done. His body language, his leadership has never waned in this basketball game.
You always have a chance when you have Dominic Daniels. Has not been a great night, except when CBU has needed him the most. Daniels delivering, breaking ankles, and making this still very much in the balance. Who will go to the big dance? Tied up at 60 with 1 minute and a second remaining.
Todd Phillips said it to us earlier today, Lowell. If Dom Daniels starts making threes, we're in trouble. And for the most part tonight, they've taken away his drives to the rim. They've kept him off the free throw line. So he's tried to answer the call late in this game with his jumper, and he has delivered on the last 2 possessions.
Started his career 2 years at San Bernardino on the JUCO level. Saving his best for last. Here for the Lancers as Rick Croy calls a timeout with 1:01 left to go. Later today on this Selection Sunday, the SEC Tournament Championship from Nashville, Vandy and Arkansas. Follow that up in the American with the top 2 seeds like we have here in the WAC. The American, it's Wichita State and USF. And then the brackets. The WAC will be a 1-bid lead. That means only room for 1 team. Will it be Cal Baptist or Utah Valley advancing for the first time in program history? WAC, the IB, A10, SEC, American, Big Ten. That's all that we have left to decide. Lowell Galindo here with Tim Welsh. What's going to be key in the final minute of this game?
Well, when it was 1 versus 2 coming into tonight, and these teams had already played 3 games, and you looked at those 3 games, you looked at their entirety of their season, you knew this game was going to come down to the last minute. You just did. 2 very good basketball teams, smart players, toughness, a lot of toughness throughout, not only on the perimeter, but in the paint, a lot of good power play, excellent coaching. I mean, you're going to do what got you here. There's no doubt about it. And last couple possessions, they tried to go inside. I would believe Todd Phillips right now is going to go back to the 2-man game with Holcomb and Linhart on the right side of the floor.
4th matchup of the season between these 2 rivals, separated by 1 game in the regular season standings. Here's Linhart on Daniels, can't get away. Now gets free. Corner, Housley drives, missed everything. Holcomb got it back and got fouled with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, that play was made by Braden Housley. What he did, he broke the defense down. He got in, which made Hennig come over on the backside to rotate over and help, which took away that backside coverage on the glass. And when you do that, Jackson Holcomb usually will take advantage.
Only thing he doesn't do at an elite level is free throw shooting. 67% on the year coming into this game. He's now 6 of 11 from the line in this game, but gives the Wolverines the 1-point edge.
Just tremendous composure, though, down the stretch, Lowell, from both teams. No facial expressions, just playing basketball.
The split and the rebound by Jaden Jackson. Guess who's taking this shot? Daniels nearly lost the dribble. Keeps it alive. The WAC Player of the Year. Heart and soul of the CBU team. Here's Jackson. Back to Daniels. Over Linhart and good! Timeout, Utah Valley. Dominic Daniels waiting for his moment. And I'm here to tell you that moment is right here, right now in Las Vegas.
You called it, Lowell. Who's going to take this shot? And it looked like they had him corralled. They ran the ball screen. They did a good job. He had to give it up. He got it back. And They've played him this way all night long with a lot of success, but in the last 3 minutes, he has used that step back and feeling very confident from the three-point line, and you've got to try to take away something and give him something. They take away his strength, which is getting the ball in the lane, getting to the free throw line, getting to the rim. So you've got to back off him a little bit, because if you play him too tight, he will just blow by you. So what did he do as a great player? He said, I'm going to answer. You take away that, I'm going to come back with this and make some shots.
If you're Utah Valley now, 10.9, what are you cooking up in this moment?
Well, your two best players are Linhart and Holcomb. Linhart as a distributor, as a playmaker, as a smart offensive player, a guy who's going to make the right decision with the basketball, not turn it over, not force a shot. And then Holcomb's a guy that also can take it inside. He will find a way to get an angle, to get it into the paint, and also to get to the free throw line. They've been very successful running that two-man game. They'll flood the backside. It'll be 3 men on the weak side. On the left side of the floor, they'll have Davis on the box. They'll have Housley in the deep corner, and they'll have Witherspoon popping out to try to take away that backside help, and then they'll play 2-on-2 on the ball side.
A final WAC championship game and an instant classic. Under 10 here for Linhart. A screen from Davis. He rolls, puts it up for Davis. He missed the dunk. CBU says save the last dance for me. CBU wins the final WAC championship to go to the tournament for the first time in program history. And to the surprise of no one, it is that man, Dominic Daniels, straight out of Compton, that delivers the Lancers to the big dance.
Well, Rick Croy just coached an absolutely tremendous game down the stretch. When it looked like CBU was dead in the water, he changed up. He moved Dom Daniels off the ball. He went smaller. He pushed him away on the weak side. He ran some screens for him. They isolated him a little bit without the ball screen. But the bottom line was that he made 3 huge threes. And you've got to feel for Utah Valley. They were absolutely perfect in this execution. Everything except the finish.
Davis had the look. Would have tied the game. There were no Wolverines in the area after the miss. Jackson secured the rebound, and that is all she wrote. And the celebration, the elation from Dominic Daniels. An awful shooting night until it mattered the most and then went off. Belief and courage, the calling cards for Dominic Daniels, the WAC Player of the Year.
It just showed unbelievable character, just hanging in there, never putting his head down, having a horrendous night, and then at the end, when they needed him, he just did it, whether it was taking it on his own without even running a play, the step back, the little snake dribble, breaking an ankle here and there, and then when there was nothing there at the end of the clock, finding a way just to take his team over the top. What a courageous performance down the stretch by Dom Daniels.
Sure, they will be celebrating for a little while tonight here in Las Vegas. I mean, if there's a city to take the party all night long, it's this one right here.
And you got to feel for Utah Valley and Isaac Davis. I mean, just an absolutely perfect play they ran, perfect delivery. This is what they do all season long. They throw that lob on the backside, and Davis would make that 99 out of 100 times, but he just slipped as he went to elevate above the rim.
What a story for Rick Croy. Said that this team defies all logic in the portal era because it is a selfless team. They are emotionally connected, and the man that brought the Lancers from D2 to D1 and season number 13 as the head coach of this program takes CBU to the tournament for the first time in program history. Unbelievable. Dominic Daniels a CBU legend. The next chapter coming up in the tournament. For Tim Welsh of Lower Galindo. Hey, Selection Sunday is off to a roaring start. California Baptist wins the final WAC championship right here in Las Vegas.